Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live leadership. What does leadership look like, especially when you are the president of the United States of America, meaning you are the leader of the free world? Well, Donald Trump is that leader. He's the leader that stands strong for his people. And before we continue, see, today when we were at church, I was talking to one of the ushers. Me and him every Sunday, we talk for a few minutes about politics, what's going on. And he said something to me that I just was like, wow. He's like, do you see how different Trump is this time around? How he's not trying to make friends in Washington, D.C., how Trump is not trying to be friendly with all these world leaders. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, do you remember always how Trump would say to me, the most important thing is loyalty. If you're loyal to me, I will be loyal to you. I'm like, okay, where are you going with this? And he said, listen, when 2020 happened, impeachment number one, impeachment number two, Russia, the January 6th situation. He said, usually after something like that, a politician a couple years later is forgotten. But we, the American people, stood with Trump. We kept praying for Trump. We kept, sending him kind letters and thoughts and prayers. He said, and Trump saw that. And then he ran again, and we watched him get his home raided. We watched him get indicted. We watched him get shot in the face on live television. We saw the mugshot, but we stood with him, and he saw that. Now that he's in the White House, his loyalty lies only to the American people because they gave him an overwhelmingly huge victory, electoral landslide. Electoral college, popular vote. He won everything. That's why you see him treating world leaders the way he's treating them, because the other world leaders have been ripping off the United States and the American taxpayer. NATO has been ripping off our soldiers. See, NATO always goes and pays money, defends, and dies for other countries. NATO has never died for America. But Americans always die for NATO. Europe never died for or fought for America, but America died for and fought for Europe. And that ends now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I hope you're having a fantastic, blessed day. Do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on, and want to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of today's live, and that is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot family-owned gold, silver, and precious metals IRA firm. They protect your IRAs, 401ks, retirement plans, and cash saving the constitutional, the biblical way, physical gold and silver, and they'll give you free silver on your next order when you call 480-717-9081. Tell them Vlad sent you. Links are down below in the description. Let's continue. First things first, look what's happening in Canada. The Canadian dollar and Mexican peso fall. Canadian dollar plummets to lowest level since 2003 after President Trump unleashes tariffs. So listen. The Canadian dollar and Mexican peso took a hit on Saturday, with Canada's dollar sliding to its lowest level since 2003, one day after President Trump imposed tariffs on the two nations. The Canadian dollar dropped by 1.4% to roughly $1.47 Canadian against one United States dollar, and the Mexican peso fell 2%. For $1, you get 21 pesos and 15 cents. Yeah. So Trump right there is going to a leader and saying, you've been ripping our nation off. You've been ripping our nation off. I want you to pay up. You don't want to see. And here's the craziest part about this, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, Mexico, China, they could have prevented and stopped all of this if they only did one thing, one simple thing, and that is secured their border, secured the border from their side. If Mexico would have just stopped all those illegal caravans moving through their country to go to the United States. If they would have just secured the border from their end, there would be no tariffs. Not only that, but I believe that Donald Trump is a man of integrity who would have actually rewarded them for doing that. But they didn't want to do that. He asked them. Then he told them. Then he begged them. And they still didn't listen. Now they're paying the price. Let's continue on to Twitter. I want to show you something that Vladimir Putin actually said yesterday about Donald Trump and about world leaders. And I agree.
Что-то изменилось, что ли, со времен Байдена? Да ничего не изменилось. Они с удовольствием выполняли любой приказ со стороны Вашингтона.
So he's talking about Ukraine and Europe, how they were always happy to carry out anything that Biden told them to do.
При Байдене. Просто им Трамп не нравится, они с ним боролись активно, да, реально вмешивались в политическую жизнь.
He says they just don't like Trump. They fought him actively, really interfered in his political life in the election process in the United States.
Предвыборный процесс в Соединенных Штатах, а потом растерялись, когда
And then they were confused when Trump suddenly won. And then they mentally liked Biden more, you know, mentally. But Trump has different ideas about what is good, what is bad, including in gender policy and some other issues. They kind of don't like it.
Представление о том, что такое хорошо, что такое плохо, в том числе в этой гендерной политике, в некоторых других вопросах, им как бы не нравится это. Но я вас уверяю, Трамп с его характером, с его...
But I assure you, Trump with his character, with his persistence, he will restore order pretty quickly.
Значит, настойчивостью он наведет там порядок довольно быстро. И
And all of them, he's talking about Europe, Ukraine, and world leaders, and all of them, you will see, it will happen quickly. Soon, all of them will stand at their master's feet and gently wag their tails. Vladimir Putin is talking about Trump and saying, look, the globalists, the Europeans, the Ukrainians, they don't like the fact that he's not anti, but he doesn't support LGBTQIA, ZV, tree. I forgot the rest of the letters. Okay, I'm about 10% there. And he's like, they don't like that. They don't like that he says one man, one woman, that's it. No more men and women sports. Not only that, he, like right there, like he says, and all of them, you will see it happen quickly. Soon, all of them will stand at the master's feet and gently wag their tails in obedience. Yeah.
Вот увидите, это произойдет быстро и будут.
Now, let's continue. There's other things going on. Watch this. So, as we all know, Panama Canal. It's been run by China. But look, after Trump's, who was it? Trump's, what's his name? Marco Rubio. He went to visit Panama, the president of Panama, and here's what happened. Breaking. The president of Panama just terminated Panama's agreement with China immediately after meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Quote, I believe that this visit opens a way to build a new stage of relations. That is how I see it. That is how I felt. That is how I felt it on the part of Secretary Marco Rubio, and at the same time try as far as possible to increase United States investments in Panama. So the Panamanian president folded. Marco Rubio, not even Trump, Marco Rubio flew to Panama on behalf of Donald Trump, and the president of Panama folded like a lawn chair and says, okay, that's it. The Chinese are out. But you know, after this speech, and I'm going to play it to you right now, after this speech that he gave, Trump actually came out and said, this was about 40 minutes ago, and said, I don't care if the Chinese are there or not. I'm taking Panama back. That is leadership. You mess up once, you don't get a second chance. Let's watch the clip.
Una cosa importante, que es una decisión que adopté y se la comuniqué. El memorándum de entendimiento del año 2017 sobre la ruta de la seda de Belt and Road Initiative no será renovado por mi gobierno. Eso es así. Vamos a estudiar la posibilidad de si se puede terminar antes o no, pero creo que le toca en 1 o 2 años la renovación, porque es cada 3. Así que esa iniciativa que se firmó, cuando se firmó, en el tiempo que se firmó, no será renovada por mi gobierno. Creo que esta visita abre un camino para
Oh, sorry. There we go. So we see Canada folded. I got it. Canada folded. Mexico folded. All these other leaders are folding, and they're going to continue to fold. They're going to continue to break. They're going to continue. Vladimir Putin, I haven't seen him be so nice about anybody. Anybody. I haven't seen him, and right now he's like, oh, you know, Trump is the leader and everyone is gonna bow down, and he's correct. Now, I want to take you, I apologize, I accidentally hit the top. I do, please forgive me. I will try to do better next time, yes. Now, I want to show you, we're gonna go here. I'm gonna show you a couple things. This is also on Twitter on my good friend George's Twitter page. He says, I love that President Trump is now making it a mission to help the white people of South Africa who have been oppressed by the ruling party. Quote, terrible things are happening in South Africa. They're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that. So in the country of South Africa, the government who's been ruling has been very, very bad. And, people are going to be like, oh, look, Trump, he just wants to take care of white people. No, he wants to take care of all people. It doesn't matter if you're white, brown, yellow, black, whatever. We all deserve equality and fair treatment.
So you said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
And on the back, so you said.
Yep. And one more thing I want to show you, and then I got a big update on Ukraine. Breaking. President Trump just doubled down on taking back the Panama Canal even after Marco Rubio's visit.
They violated the agreement.
By the way, this is what I said, where Trump just came out recently and still commented and said, we're taking Panama. I don't care what they do.
They violated the agreement. They're not allowed to violate the agreement. China's running the Panama Canal. That was not given to China. That was given to Panama foolishly. But they violated the agreement, and we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen. After they violated.
He said, we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen. Now, well, George, if I were Prime Minister of Canada, okay. Are you ready to see something crazy? I have a huge update on Ukraine. Look at this. Let me pull this up. This is what Trump wants right now. After a ceasefire with Russia, Trump and Kellogg want Ukraine to hold presidential elections. Zelensky's mandate expired mid-2024. Now, Zelensky is a dictator. His time as president is out. I know the Ukrainian constitution better than this crackhead, cokehead dictator. The Ukrainian constitution in article chapter 18, article 2 says this, that when the president of the United States serves 5 years, even if there's martial law, he has to leave, and the Speaker of the House becomes the president until they can hold elections. Well, he had the Speaker of the House killed, then another one imprisoned, and the one that is now the Speaker of their Верховная Rada, it would be our, for us, it would be the House of Representatives, and now the Speaker of the House that Zelensky installed is a puppet who obeys him. But yeah, when the first one, started talking about, hey, buddy, you're supposed to go and I'm supposed to be leader. That's what the Constitution says. He had him killed. Then they had another one come in. He had him arrested. He's in prison. And now the third one, he's an obedient punk. Amid what U.S. President Donald Trump called, quote, very serious, if still secret, peace discussions with Russia, some aspects of the SAW agreement have started to leak to the press. One of the most relevant so far is that the United States wants Ukraine to hold elections by the end of the year, especially if Kyiv signs a ceasefire with Russia in the coming months, according to President Trump's Ukraine envoy. Having family in Ukraine from my wife's side, having friends in Ukraine, I will tell you this. Nobody likes Zelensky. Ukraine is so corrupt. And their leadership, it is top 5th most corrupt country in the world. I mean, it's like in the top 5. And Russia's corrupt. These guys are corrupt. Russia never stole any money from me. Has Russia ever stolen any of your taxpayer dollars? Has Russia ever stolen your military equipment that you sent as aid? Have you ever sent an aid package to Russia and then it ended up on the black market in the hands of terrorists? No. Ukraine has. See, Russia is corrupt, but Russia never stole from you. And I don't have a side in this war, even though I know more people on the Ukrainian side. Here's what I can tell you the Ukrainians want. Ukrainians want peace. They don't want war. See, in Russia, you get to go fight if you want to. In Ukraine, if you're a male, you're fighting. You have to. You don't have a choice. So in Russia, you can choose. In Ukraine, you're forced. In Russia, you can practice Christianity to an extent. Just don't be too loud. In Ukraine, you practice Christianity, you go to prison. And I want to show you guys, I want to show something to you guys really quickly. Let me pull up Google. I'm going to show you something. American journalist dies in Ukraine prison. Watch this. Russia is not running out of troops. Ukraine is running out of troops. Ukraine, literally, they have a thing where they drive around and they kidnap men. They kidnap anybody that looks like he is military aged, and you get kidnapped. You can get kidnapped from your work, from your church. Listen, who is Gonzalo Lira? Pro-Putin American expat dies in Ukrainian jail. Listen to this. Gonzalo Lira, a 55-year-old Chilean American who was born in America, who was imprisoned in Ukraine after allegedly spreading Russian propaganda, then violating his bail conditions, has died in a Ukrainian jail. Listen to this. This was an American citizen, American natural-born citizen who was an independent, journalist, kind of like me. And then he flew to Ukraine to cover the war. And when he got there, what he saw was guys wearing swastika tattoos, fighting for Ukraine, but we're told, hey, those guys don't exist there. He saw abuse. He saw our military equipment being sold in the black market, our money being stolen. He was like, this is not a democracy. This country is a satanic dictatorship. He was arrested for tweets. He never said anything good about Putin. If you can find me a tweet or a video of Gonzala talking about Putin's a good guy, I'll give you $100. But he never did that. Only thing he did was criticize Zelensky and the way he was running the war. Then what happened to him was he was arrested. He made bail, tweeted something else, was arrested again, died in jail. And when his body came back to his parents, they said he was tortured to death. Teeth missing. His tongue, they said they were probably squeezing his tongue with pliers. His fingernails were ripped out, like just beat up, scars and marks all over his body. So this super democratic nation that is fighting this bad aggressor is Russia. Have any American journalists died in a Russian prison recently? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Ladies and gentlemen, but I'm glad, Papa Trump is back. He's all these world leaders are going to bow down. All of them. They're all going to wiggle their little tails. They're going to say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Putin's going to come out. Mr. President, please forgive me. Give me forgiveness. And then, the Canadians are going to come. Oh, hey, man. Hey. I can't make their accent. But whatever, they're all going to come down. They're all going to bow the knee. They're all going to wiggle their tails and say, we are very sorry, Mr. President Trump. And, like Borat said, Trump is going to say, I like you. Give me everything you have. Yekshimash. And that's it. And I am proud to be an American right now. We are fighting for our future. And again, I want to go back to how I started this video of what the guy at church, what he said today. He said, Trump is not making friends this time around. Everything he's doing is for the American people because everybody betrayed him. Everybody betrayed him. And yeah. I have my mom's cousin is from Eastern Ukraine. You want to hear some horrible things of what your own country can do to you? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, but no more screwing America. We now screw you. You're going to pay us. You're going to take our products and pay us tariffs and take our gas and oil and our grain. You're going to buy our electricity. That's it. We're running the show now. America is back to greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Again, I'm going to ask one more time. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on. Make sure to stay tuned. See you soon. God bless you. See you in a bit.